We have high expectations. We have a lot of meetings inside those four walls, and I guarantee them, all of them are directed towards playing a lot farther than April the 5th. So I guess in essence, in saying that, I'm the same as the other 29 coaches that are all speaking likely at about this time in each of their time zones, saying that they're expecting to make the playoffs.
Well, Hanlon would not go as far as saying that this team can win the Stanley Cup, but he did say that with this group they can get to the postseason. How deep into the playoffs, though, is the question, and what kind of challenges does he face, Reeks?
Well, and I think a lot of it comes from the players within. And when you look at the two players that I think of right now, when you bring in these free agents, Ole Kolzig, 22 wins, .910 save percentage, 28th all-time in career victories. He is the leader and the backbone of this franchise on and off the ice. Then you add Chris Clark, their captain. Much I've always said, plays a lot like Dale Hunter. He had 30 goals. So inside that room, these players are going to take care of it. But when you talk about bringing in new players, this is why I said General Manager George McPhee brought in the right players to fit this lineup. You talk about Michael Nylander. He's going to complement Nicholas Backstrom. And also Victor Kozlov is going to work well with Alexander Semin and Alex Ovechkin. And what I really like is Tom Pody's going to be working with Brian Pothier and allow Milan Jurčina and Sean Morrison to develop and play their own role. So I just really like what they brought as far as chemistry, and it'll all work together.
And of course, as we know, the road to the playoffs begins by beating your division rivals, and the Southeast has become the place to build from the bottom. You look at Tampa Bay, Carolina, and Atlanta. They've all made significant improvements within a 3-year period. And of course, as we know, the Canes and Lightning both won the Stanley Cup in year 3. And Joe, the Caps, of course, would love to emulate that kind of success.
And I think that they're right there to get into the playoffs, because what they've brought are players that are going to fill immediate needs. 5-on-5 hockey, power play, shootout, to come with the established players. But when I look at what the Washington Capitals have added into this offseason, complementing the Alex Ovechkins and Alexander Semins, Ole Kolzig and Brent Johnson, they've brought in 4 players, if you want to count Nicholas Backstrom as being one of them, that's going to contribute. You look at the other Southeast Division teams, no one in this division has brought in that type of significant players as free agents and complementing this. And I really like what they've done. If they take care of what they have to in the Southeast Division, this team is going to be destined to be in the playoffs and do very well this season.
All right, well, Joe, last offseason, the Capitals got tougher when they inked free agent Donald Brashear from the Philadelphia Flyers. He immediately gave the Caps that physical presence they needed. But being tough isn't what Brashear is all about. Here's Jill Sorensen to explain.
Everything about Donald Brashear says tough.
Brashear, he threw a straight left at Brendan Witt and Cole cocked him.
Even his nickname, Brash, means energetic, high-spirited, in an irreverent way.
That's why he's the #1 heavyweight in the National Hockey League.
It's safe to say Donald Brashear has made a living as a tough guy. In 13 NHL seasons, he's amassed more than 2,300 penalty minutes, less than 100 goals.
The game of hockey is, skating, passing the puck, shooting, try to score some goals. That's what the game is about. To me, fighting always came in the second place. It's like a boy thing, it's to gain respect, and the way you gain respect is to beat up the other guy.
Ring the bell in this heavyweight bout.
He makes everyone on the team feel a little bit tougher out there, and we got guys like Alexander Semin and Alexander Ovechkin, and our top players that if guys take liberties at him, having a guy like Brash might make them think twice.
He just kind of has a respect of a lot of guys around the league. A lot of times he doesn't even have to fight for him to make his presence felt, and he's more skilled than probably people give him credit for, and he's done a great job for us.
There's no questioning his toughness, but is there a softer Donald Brashear?
Aaron Downey, bad choice.
He's not what you'd expect from the way he plays on the ice. He's a great leader, great team guy, and just really quiet and soft-spoken. He's kind of like a gentle giant off the ice, and then when you get on the ice, he turns into, what everyone knows he is on the ice.
Most of the tough guys that I know are the exact same way. They're mean as nails, tough as nails on the ice, and off the ice, he's just kind of a soft-spoken demeanor. He likes to joke around.
Very serious guy, but at the same time, can keep the dressing room pretty light at times, and he likes to dance. Ask him to show you a couple of his moves. Pretty good.
you would never know if he was your neighbor that he does what he does on the ice.
Here comes the jackhammer, just dusting Downey.
If I was doing the things off the ice like I do on the ice, I think I'd be in trouble all the time.
During his childhood, staying out of trouble is why Brashear is where he is today.
Hockey was my way out in life. You know, I was brought up in a foster home. I lived in different foster homes actually, and the last one I ended up in, which was in Quebec City, even though not a lot of people were believing in me, which gave me a big push. You know, well, I believed in myself, and I just worked at it real hard, and you know, along the way you need a little bit of luck, and things work out.
Donald and Jill, thank you. Moving on, when we asked the new Caps faces some tough questions, Donald Brashear's name came up more than a few times. Get to know your not-so-familiar faces next. Comcast Sportsnet is your home for Capitals hockey, and we are happy to bring you 74 regular season games this season, beginning Friday night with the season opener in Atlanta. Saturday night's home opener against Carolina is brought to you in high definition. Well, we know their abilities on the ice, but away from the rink, many fans are curious on their personalities, likes, dislikes. So here's everything you need to know about some of the Caps' new faces. Who was your favorite player growing up?
My favorite player growing up was Ray Bourque from the Boston Bruins.
Mario Lemieux.
Wayne Gretzky.
What was the first job you ever had?
My first job was as a carpenter home in Sweden, so I have been a carpenter for a couple of years.
Favorite movie?
Slapshot.
My favorite movie, Gladiator.
Who is the toughest current NHL player?
Donald Brashear.
Toughest?
In the NHL.
I think Donald Brashear.
You're not a fighter, but if you had to fight somebody, who would you like to fight?
Smallest guy probably in the league.
When was the last time you cried?
Last time I cried, probably my grandmother's funeral.
When my daughter was born.
I think it was maybe a couple of weeks ago when I leave Sweden.
What famous Hollywood actress would you most like to have dinner with?
They're all taken, you know.
Katie Holmes.
Angelina Jolie.
What is the dumbest question a member of the media has ever asked you?
Many. Too many to remember them all.
The one you just asked.
I knew that one was coming. All right, it all comes together Friday night in Atlanta. Some final thoughts on the season.
Well, I'm excited about this season. I thought that the moves that the Washington Capitals did in the offseason addressed the pieces. I look for great things this season from the Washington Capitals, and I'm really excited about this year for them.
All right, we're out of time. Saying so long from our studios at Comcast Sportsnet, your home of the Washington Capitals. For Joe, I'm Lisa. We'll see you soon. Take care.